Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining the Saturday Bhagavad Gita class. Let's do the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manu Abhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pradamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद all together Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare
Rama Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama Hare
Rama Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama Hare
Rama,
Rama Rama
Rama
Rama Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
We are reading from chapter 2, contents of Gita summarized, and we are in the section where Krishna talks about the characteristics and Krishna describes the results that we are getting. They are eternal. But then after describing this, the characteristics, what he says, what is the qualification one needs to possess the actually to get these characteristics? Yeah. So he's actually talking about the business that we do. What is the business one do in a karma yoga practice? That we do our prescribed duty. Yeah. But how are we doing the prescribed duty? That is what has been explained in this verse. So we'll chant the verse once and then we will talk about it. Yeah. Vyavasayatmika buddhir
Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhir
Ekeha Kurunandana
Ekeha Kurunandana
Bahushakahi Anantascha
Bahushaka Anantascha
Buddhayo Vivasayinam.
Buddhayo Vyavasayina.
Full shloka in one go. I will chant, then you follow. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahusakhahi anantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam.
Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhir Eke Kurunandana Bahushaka Anantascha Buddhayo Vyavasayina.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. I repeat it again. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. I will try and explain because I'm assuming that you have all read the purport of by Prabhupada. So, Vyavasayatmika Buddhir, one's buddhi has to be one pointed, has to be fixed, and Ekeha Kurunandana, and at one place, Ekeha Kurunandaracha. On the other hand, those people who are not fixed like this, their intelligence is Bahushakha. And how many shakhas? Anantascha, unlimited shakha. For whom? Buddhayo Vyavasayinam. Vyavasayinam, those people whose buddhi is Vyavasayi, is not fixed in one place. So here we see that Krishna is telling Arjun to become one pointed. His actually is not telling directly but indirectly. So normally we use backhanded compliment as a so we are not giving a compliment directly, but backhanded compliment sometimes we give. Oh yeah, you have done a very good job. However, so like this. So he's telling this by saying the contrast to these people's intelligence is fixed, and these people whose intelligence is multi-branched and it is dissipated. When we wanted to do something, we have to focus. Unless we are focused, we will not be able to get what we want. So the more we let our intelligence distributed, we get it dissipated. When one desires crowds our mind, the dilemmas cloud our intelligence. Cloud means it will be very difficult to decide. Too many desires cannot be fit in 24 hours a day. Example which I gave last time probably was, we are traveling somewhere from one city to the other city, and we try to put the whole house in our suitcase. Is it possible, first of all? And is it really desirable to do so? So we need to decide what are the things that we have to carry. Similarly, we have to streamline things and make proper priority. We should be one pointed. So generally, when we want to practice Krishna consciousness, we have to be Ekeha Kurunandana. To the extent we are one pointed, to the extent we can practice Krishna consciousness, and that too diligently. If we are not one pointed, then we find it very difficult to perceive Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada in his purport, in the whole purport, he takes a very interesting angle. Prabhupada doesn't focus too much on the second part, Bhaushakhaya Yanantascha, but he more focuses on Ekeha Kurunandana, one pointedness. So, how do we get this one pointedness? Otherwise, there is a difficulty in perseverance. Our followers, how do we follow? How do we practice? How do we continuously keep doing that? So that is perseverance that I'm talking about. So how to remain fixed on a single point, like Olympic gold medal. Like a gold medalist or mountain climber, we need to focus on one thing. A world-class cricketer only focuses on cricket, that is fanatical focus. So fanatic is what is that I am doing only that is right, all others are wrong. But fanatical focus is focusing on one point or aspect. But sometimes that is required. Unless you are fanatical, you will not be able to achieve what your goal is going to be. So being fanatical in otherwise is not very good way of looking at it. However, when we are want to achieve something and we are fanatical about that, like Sachin Tendulkar, for example, those who know cricket. If his focus was not on batting and batting with a cool mind, similar to other players as well, Virat Kohli and also, their focus was one pointedness. Eke ha Kurunandana. They might even don't know this philosophy. However, they had a fanatical mind that they just wanted to do that. So having that into our mindset, then we can achieve and remain fixed. So how to remain fixed on one single point is by continual practice of doing so. So the focus is not that difficult unless you have a determination to do so. If you want to advance in Krishna consciousness, then we need to be focused. What does it mean? There are many things can be done, and Srila Prabhupada's mission has given us so many things to do, like book distribution. We can do temple services. We can do temple cleaning. We can do home deity service, right? We can do chanting. We can do kirtan. We can do so many other things, and a distribution of Krishna consciousness by way of giving the classes, giving the books, reading Srila Prabhupada books in a group. Yeah, and also, remaining Krishna conscious, what does it mean? Can anyone please throw a light on that? Varun Prabhu, what is Krishna conscious all the time?
Krishna conscious means, Prabhu, that we know our relationship with God, and whatever we do is that it has to serve the purpose that we are the servant of God. We may be doing a job, we may be doing whatever, but the
Very
purpose is
important.
that we are
Yeah.
servant of God.
Yeah. So, what does it mean that when we are keeping Krishna in the center, we are
Center.
Krishna conscious? When we are keeping ourselves in the center, then it's a material life. So we are keeping ourselves away and keeping Krishna in the center. So that means we are Krishna conscious all the time, 24 by 7. And that's how we can advance in the Krishna consciousness. So the purpose that Krishna will reveal is through the spiritual master. So Prabhupada took Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Thakur's instruction that he should share and write books in English language. So Prabhupada took that as an instruction and he started writing the books, and then he went to all the 7 oceans away to preach in the West. He took this instruction as a life and soul and took this instruction to make an extraordinary success. We may or may not be so fortunate to get a specific and personal instruction from our spiritual masters. But the important point is that to recognize the spiritual master's instruction and don't have to be specific and personal for them to become mission of our life. But we have to understand that general instruction that Krishna has given us through Srila Prabhupada is the way we all have to become devotees. We all have to love Krishna and help us as much as possible in loving Krishna. So how do we do that specifically? It will vary from time, place, and circumstances. We may or may not know at this stage how we can serve Krishna. But if we keep on exploring our interest, we will gradually find out these are the things I am most comfortable with. Generally, how we decide is we should be feeling internally comfortable and extremely competent in doing that service. Yes, I like to do it and I'm looking to do it. That is a principle. So in the Varnashrama Dharma, where we have the 4 Varnas and 4 ashramas, each one has its own, um, purpose of working the way they are working. Right? However, we need to understand one single fact that material work as per Varna in Kali Yuga, it is determining our Varna may be difficult because of mixing happenings from past several decades. So it will be difficult to assume Varna based on our birth. By birth, I can be Brahmana, I can be Vaishya, I can be Kshatriya. But do I really have those qualities and become that? You can see there's so many people are becoming IAS officers or IPSs in India, especially people coming from Bihar and Uttar Pradesh and all these places, and they are becoming the IAS officers. Most of the people coming from Bihar and UP, they become IAS officer, IPS officers. And they can be from OBCs or BCs and SC, ST cadre. But then they have that karma in them. They have those qualities in them. And because of which they have that Ekeha Kurunandana abilities in them. And once we have that, it becomes very easy for them to achieve that. But now the question is whether we are able to uh, identify ourselves as per the Varna that we are into. So, how do we specifically vary from time, place, and circumstances? We may or may not know at this stage. But as we grow in our Krishna consciousness, we would come to know that what is my interest. Once, I asked my Guru Maharaj that Maharaj, what do you want me to do it? He asked me one single question: whatever you are good at, do that for Krishna. He simply told me that what you are good at, just do it for Krishna. And that's how we should be able to start finding out ourselves that what is good in me, which I can put into the service of Krishna. Somebody may be good at crafting. Somebody may be good at, painting. Somebody may be very good at, uh, embroidery work. Somebody may be very good at computerization or maybe the website building. Lots of things are there. Now the skill set has been so broad that whatever vyavasaya that you are doing, that intelligence, that buddhi, you have to use in the service to Krishna, so that you remain Krishna conscious while doing that service. Because all the time in your mind, what is there in your mind? You are continuously working for Krishna in order to do that service because you love to do that. So, as a materialistic person, everything based on the finance perspective. Similarly, for devotees, should see everything from a spiritual perspective and or the spiritual potential rather. So, see those maybe the devotees who go and take darshan of Radha Gopinath here in the temple or any temple you go, look at the garlands that they are made for deities. They are so beautiful.
Mm.
They are so minutely observed and created. How they turn the leaves, petals,
Thoughts,
and
yeah.
then they are put into uh, the needle, and that goes into the thread. It's a very beautiful way of doing it. We don't observe that because it's not our interest. There's a garland team is doing that work. That's not what we see, and we just walk away. But look at the kind of effort they are putting to do so, and how many garlands they make. There are 5 aartis in a day for uh, Gaurvita hai, for Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Ma, then for Nrsimha, then for all the Vaishnava Acharyas, and of course, after that, the main deities of, Utsav Murtis, and then main Radha Gopinath Murtis as well, and Prabhupada. So each one has its own beauty. And the people are not dialysis. Today, I am making the garland for Radha, sorry, the Utsav Murti. The next day, I cannot be promoted to do the big big murtis of Radha Gopinath. No, it needs a lot of practice. And there is a lead who keeps observing you how you are doing it. What is your determination, devotion, dedication for doing that service? So we have to see that ekeha kurunandaran vyavasayat ka buddhir, how it has to be applied in our day-to-day life and in our Krishna consciousness at the same time. So look at the practical aspect of applying that in our Krishna consciousness, then it becomes very easy for us to understand these verses. They're not so difficult to understand unless we look at it from the practical aspect of it. Yeah. Any question? Ask me a question anytime. Just raise your hand and then you can ask question. Okay. So the blank faces shows tells me that there are no questions. So Renuga, so what is your view on this? You are muted.
Well, I'm pretty much gathering that just do your job and don't expect to be rewarded. Like, don't do it to be rewarded for it. Just do it because you want to do it and do what you're good at doing it. So it comes from your heart because love is God. That's what I'm gathering.
Yeah, absolutely. So keep who in the center?
In the
Keeping
center.
Krishna in the center. Keeping Krishna in the center so that you always remain Krishna conscious. Yeah. So that is the actual meaning of being Krishna conscious, that we always keep Krishna in the center and then doing the work around him. Yeah. Okay. So the next verse. The 42 and 43 are combined verses, okay? Yamimam pushpitam vacham
Yamimam pushpitam vacham
danta vipaschitaha
prabhuvadanti avipashchita
vedavadarataha partha
vedavadarata partha
nanyadastitivadinaha
nanyad astiti vaddina
kamatmanah swargapara
kam atmana swargapara
janma karma phalapradam
janma karma phala pradam
kriya vishesha bahulam
kriya vishesha bahulam
भोगेश्वर्यं गतिं प्रति
भोगेश्वर्य गतिं प्रति
यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं
यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं
प्रवद्यन्त विपश्चितः
प्रवदन्ति अविपश्चिता
वेदवादरतः पार्थ
वेदवादारत अर्थ
नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः
नान्यद् अस्तीति वादिनः
कामात्मानः स्वर्गपरा
कामात्मनः स्वर्गपरा
जन्म कर्म फलप्रदाम्
जन्म कर्म फलप्रदम्
का क्रिया
क्रिया
विशेष बहुलाम्
क्रिया विशेष बहुलाम्
भोगेश्वर्य गतिं प्रति
भोगेश्वर गतिं प्रति
anyone wants to recite?
I can do.
Yeah.
यम इमं पुष्पितं वाचं प्रवदन्ति
यमिमं पुष्पितां वाचं
प्रवदन्ति अविपश्चिता
प्रवदन्ति अविपश्चितः
वेदवादरताः पार्था
वेदवादरतः पार्थ
नन्याद् अशितिवादिना
नान्यदस्तितिवादिनः
कामात्मना स्वर्गपरा
कामात्मानः स्वर्गपरा
जन्म कर्मा फलप्रदाम्
जन्म कर्म फलप्रदाम्
क्रिये विशेषबहुलाम्
क्रिया विशेष बहुलाम्
भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति
भोगेश्वर्य गतिं प्रति Mataji's,
Prabhuji, can I try?
yeah, please.
Yam imam pushpitam vacham
Yam imam pushpitam vacham
pravadantya abhipashitah
pravadanti abhishpitaha
veda vadarata partha
vedavadarata partha
nanyad astiti vadina
nanyat astiti vadinaha
kamatvanha swaragpara
kamatmanha swargapara
janma karma palha pradam
janma karma falapradam
kriya vishesha bahulam
kriya vishesha bahulam
भोगैश्वर्या गतिं प्रति
Yogeshwarya Gatipratihi. Anyone else? It was very good recitation. It was Sumandira, right?
I tried, Prabhuji. I'm learning still how to recite in Sanskrit. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Wonderful, wonderful. Shishakti,
Yes, Prabhu. Yam imam pushpitam vacham
Yam imam pushpitam vacham
pravadanti abhipashatah
pravadanta vipaschitaha
vedavadarata partha
vedavadarata partha
ज्ञान्याद् अस्तीति वादिनः
nanyat stiti vadinaha
कमा आत्मना स्वर्गपारा
स्वकामात्मना स्वर्गपरा
जन्म कर्म फलाप्रदम्
जन्म कर्म फलप्रदाम्
क्रिया विशेष बहुलां
क्रिया विशेष बहुलाम्
भोगैश्वर्य गतिं प्रति
Bhogeshwaryam Gatim Prati. Anyone else wants to recite? Okay. Translation. Translated by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets. So the resultant is of that is good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. Yeah, everyone wants to be in a very good, comfortable situation there. That's why they only get attracted to the flowery part of Vedas. You know, that means the Karma Kanda section mostly. I repeat, men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommends various fruitive activities for elevation to the heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. So Krishna is telling in this verse to Arjun that you may have heard in Vedas that one can go to Swarg and one can enjoy that. But if you fight in the war and if you die, you will get Swarga. But now Krishna is telling here, don't think about such things. Don't go to the flowery language of Veda. What is saying? Don't go to the flowery language. These are flowery words of Vedas. Pushpitam vacham, yam imam. And who are attracted by these? Avipaschitaha. Vipaschita means one who is having discrimination, and avipaschita means who does not have discrimination. So what is the character of such people? Vedavada ratha partha. Such people are not attracted. They are Vedavada ratha. They think this is what the Vedas teach. Vedavada ratha partha. So Vedavada is talked about in Ishopanishad. So we'll learn Ishopanishad as a next thing. So where different kinds of avidya is talked about. Nanyat astiti vadinaha. These people think that there is nothing else to attain in Vedas. What does they think? What is attained in the Pushpitam Vacham? That ultimately we are going to Swarga. So that is described. So in the next second verse, so 42 is that, and now 43, karmatmana swargapara. They are filled with karma and the desire in swargapara. They want to go to swarga, and what they will get in swarga? Janma karma phala pradam. They will get janma, auspicious birth in heavenly planets, and they will go to wonderful karma. And they want to do kriya vishesha bahulam. They wanted to do huge sacrifices. And the kriya refers to Vedic sacrifices here. Karma kanda rituals, vishesha, a specialized bahulam, very opulent. And their whole goal is bhoga aishwarya gatimpati. They just want to do bhoga aishwarya. They are attached to bhoga and aishwarya. So bhoga is sense gratification and aishwarya is opulence. So they want indulgence and they want opulence. So they want sensual indulgence and they want financial opulence. Gatim prati. And this is their gati. They keep on doing that. So now Krishna has used the word here kamatmana. So it is, if kama is there in the atma, that is sensual desires, that is lust. Actually, kama is lust. If lust is there in the atma, what will happen? They cannot think of anything better than material enjoyment. Always getting, attracted with the opposite sex. That is the lust. But our philosophy, Krishna consciousness philosophy, is to love Krishna. Because by loving Krishna, what will happen? That Krishna will also love you in turn. We are actually should become thirsty of Krishna's love. Krishna is always there standing and opened arms to hug us. Only thing is we are not going there. Temple is open every day, but how many people to go? Sunday feast is happening every Sunday. Every month there are 4 or 5 Sundays, but how many people to go? Once in a month also people are making, excuses that, no, I cannot come. I have this, I have that, So Krishna is there with open arms, waiting for you. Please come, I'll hug you. But mostly our people, our thinking, what Krishna is saying that we are looking from the lust, which is attached to the Atma. So they cannot think of anything better than material enjoyment. Kamatmanha swargapara. Here the word Atma is used in a metaphorical sense, which is used to refer one's essential being, and because their goal is Kama, Swargapara, they think in Swarga they will get more enjoyment than in material life. So it is interesting what is taught in a Veda, and Krishna says that there is, but don't think that this is the conclusion of Vedas. Vedanta Sutra is totally Vedanta. Vedanta means at the end of the Vedas, Anta. Vedanta Sutra does not have this conclusion. If we stop at this point and think that, oh, I got everything now, then we are avipishchitaha. So they are not discriminating. They don't understand the conclusion of Vedic literature. And that is why there is a progression in Vedic literature, multi-level worship. Multi-level worship has also been taught in the scriptures. So Karma Kanda is one level. Beyond that, there is a Jnana Kanda. And beyond that is the main part, which is Bhakti, pure Bhakti. So it's a sandwich that we look at, Bhagavad Gita has also been created in three parts. So one loaf on the top, one loaf on the bottom, and in between there is the main stuff. What that sandwich is all about, whether it's only potato or it's anything else as well in that. Did I miss Saloni Mataji by chance, or
I'm
I
here.
can't see her?
I'm here.
Oh, you're there? Okay. All right, no problem. I lost Renuga. Renuga is there as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because once I don't see the video, then yeah. So there is a progression, and I was talking about the sandwich. So first 6 chapters is the first loaf. Last 6 chapters is the third and second loaf, and in between the stuff, which is actually the sandwich, which is what has been kept in the sandwich. That is actually the main stuff. So the first loaf, first 6 chapters. Last 6 chapters are the second loaf, that is Jnana Kanda. So Karma Kanda, then that is Jnana Kanda, and in between we have Bhakti Kanda, that is Bhakti Yoga, pure Bhakti. So 7 chapter to 12 chapter is actually the real Bhagavad Gita. But Krishna is giving all the Jnana, all the knowledge by way of taking us gradually towards pure Bhakti. He's not leaving anything, but why the Jnana Kanda is at the end? So he is leaving it on your buddhi, that what do you think, what is your intelligence is telling you, how you should be going ahead with that. So that is why the buddhi has to be there in application of our endeavors. If our endeavors are going only with the kama, the luster, then we are not doing the justice for ourselves. We have to use the buddhi. We need to know what the jnana kanda is. We need to know what the karma kanda is. Then we will understand what the pure bhakti is all about. So putting all our efforts, all our skills in the service to Krishna is remaining Krishna conscious all the time. Okay. But in order for us to understand, we have to go through various things. In the bhakti also there is a upasana kanda. How to do the upasana. That's why when we are doing this course of Bhakti Manjari or maybe the Bhakti Saransh after that, so we have Sambandha, Abhidheya and Prayojan. 3 aspects of this. The Sambandha is the just creating introduction to Krishna. Krishna is all about. And that is we have done with the glorification of Bhagavad Gita done by Adi Shankaracharya in his prayers, 7 prayers of glorifying Bhagavad Gita. What Bhagavad Gita is all about. He glorifies that. And after the glorification, that sambandha is created. Yes, now we know who Krishna is. Now, then there is a process. After 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, we come to nectar of instruction. Nectar of instruction is the process. So, sambandha, abhideya, and then prayojan. Abhideya is the process by which we understand how to worship, how to understand Krishna, how we should be practicing on a day-to-day basis. So, Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Avidya, Pittopatatarasana Narochikano Kinturadhanadi Satutachai Vajishta, Swadvi Pramada, Hanadada Bula Hantri. So, that's what is the mantra in the nectar of instruction, which tells us that initially when somebody has a jaundice, what happens to him? Syat Krishnanam Charitadi Avidya. His charita is not allowing him to chew the sugar cane. So, why? Because pitto atapta rasanasana. He is having pitta. His liver is not good. That's why he has jaundice. So, when you have a jaundice, what happens is your liver is not functioning well. And when your liver is not functioning well, that time you don't find any rasa in any of the food. And on top of it, the sugar cane, which is the medicine for jaundice. As you keep on chewing it, the juice which comes out of it is very bitter for the person who has jaundice. But keep on doing it, keep on doing it. A day comes when it starts tasting sweet to him. That day you can say that yes, the jaundice is gone. Similarly, that is the practice that we have to do with our chanting. Initially, we find it very, very boring. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Oh my God, another 7 beats are still remaining for me to complete my 108 rounds. But this is what the practice is. See, the Abhideya in which we have to see the practice, the process by which we attain Krishna. So that process, we have to see that how we should be going towards Krishna, right? So as we keep on doing it, for the level that we are on Bhakti Manjari, we should be minimum doing 8 to 12 rounds. And the next course that we'll be doing, everyone should be on 16 rounds. I'm telling you now because if you don't do that, you will not get the certificate and you will not be allowed to enter the exam as well. So prepare yourself with your manas that yes, oh, I have to do this. But those who are initiated, they are already doing it, like Shri Shakti Mataji, Subandira Mataji, myself. So we are already 16 rounders. But always remember that Krishna has given answer to every question that we might have in our mind. Yeah. So if you get a question, put it in the WhatsApp group. I will answer it there, and everyone will get the answer to it. Okay. Now the next verse. Any question anyone has? I heard some voice. Okay. No problem. So come to verse 44. Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam
भोगेश्वरे प्रसक्तानां
taya prahata chetasam
तया चेतसां
vivasayatmika buddhi
विषयात्मिका बुद्धि
samadhau na vidhiyate
समाधान विधीयते
Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam
Yogeshwara Prasaktanam
तया प्रहतचेतसाम्
तया प्रहता चेतसाम्
व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि
व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि
समाधौ न विधीयते
समाधौ न विद्यते
भोगेश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहतचेतसाम्
भोगेश्वरप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहता चेतसाम्
व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते
व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिर्समधौ न विद्यते
भोगेश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहतचेतसाम्
भोगेश्वरप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहता चेतसाम्
व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते
व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिर्समधौ न विद्यते
Full shloka in a go. भोगेश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते
भोगेश्वरप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहता चेतसाम् व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विद्यते
For भोगेश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते
भोगेश्वरप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहता चेतसाम् व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विद्यते
Anyone? Devlina?
Sorry, my mobile is going to just run out of charge. I'll just have to drop out for a sec. Sorry.
An unbeatable excuse. Varun?
भोगेश्वरप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहता चेतसाम् व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिर्समाधौ न विद्यते
Renuka?
भोगेश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते.
Couldn't hear you properly, but anyway, that's fine. You are very soft. So,
Sorry.
Mandira? Okay, Madhavi?
भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते.
Wonderful. Very nice. Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. So those who are attached to, the flowery language of Veda and they get attached to it. For them, Krishna is not talking about that. So he's talking about the detachment from here now. He's describing the detachment now. So Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam. So when one is attached to Bhoga and Aishwarya, one is attached to sense gratification, opulence, and then aparhyata chetasa. One's consciousness become abducted. Yeah. So Krishna has heard Arjuna use the same reference earlier when he has used lovo apatachetasa. Yeah. So Arjuna is saying our consciousness is abducted by lobha, and that is why we are, that's why we are contemplating killing people like that, because we want to enjoy. Now he is looking at their people, the Kaurava side, as his own people. So we are trying to kill them because we want to, enjoy the Bhoga Aishwarya by having the kingdom in our side. And I become king, or Yudhishthir Maharaj becomes king, and then we can enjoy the Bhoga and Aishwarya. That's why we are killing our own kinsmen who are on that side, on the opposite side. But they are our, siblings. They are relatives. But by killing them, we are trying to get the opulence. So the attachment, that sense gratification, opulence, is aparita chetasa. So once consciousness become abducted, so Krishna has heard this, and that's the reason Krishna is now explaining that why it has been not been abducted by Lova. So killing our own relatives for the sake of wealth. But Krishna is saying this whole calculation in terms of wealth and enjoyment, Bhoga and Aishwarya, is based on ignorance. Because you are not using your buddhi. He's not directly saying that you are, manda buddhi. He's not saying that. He's saying that you are in ignorance. So apahata chetasa. So the material consciousness itself is indication of one having lost one's consciousness to the abduction of material desires. And when one's consciousness is abducted, one can't think clearly, then vivasayatmika buddhi. What Krishna is talked about in 41, 2.41 verse, that one-pointed intelligence, ikeha kurunandana, so is no longer possible. So samadhau na vidyate. So when there is no one-point intelligence, then the transcendental destination, samadhau, is not achieved. The samadhi cannot be achieved. So in 2.41, he says you have to be fixed, and those who are not fixed, they cannot achieve the transcendental destination. And who are not fixed? Those who are attracted or attached to the material things. Bhoga Aishwarya. Therefore, Krishna says, Arjuna, in this verse, that don't become attracted to material things. Indirectly, he says that if you are attracted to material things, you will not get one-pointed attraction. This is actually very significant for all of us. In our spiritual life also, actually, we all know how attachment blinds us, but we have to ask ourselves, how much do I have to lose before I lose my blindness? Those who are blind, like, Ravindra Jain, he is a music director, he was so qualified. He used to write at the 11th hour. You must have seen that, the songs of that movie, Chor Bacha Shor, Gugru ki tarah bachta hi raha hu main, So it's beautiful, but he has not seen. He didn't have, he was blind. But this is imagination given to him it's a God's mercy that he had. He was a good poet, he was a good singer, he was a good musician. The songs of Hinas, the songs of Ramdari Ganga Meli, all is written and music given by him.
I
One who
think
cannot see how
Ramayana is also done by
the
Ravindra.
Ramayana also. Yeah, you're right. So the meanings also of his songs are so beautiful, as if he can see everything, he can see with the X-rayed eyes, in and out, he can see that. But his imagination was so beautiful, so perfect. कभी इस पग में कभी उस पग में बचता ही रहा हूं मैं. So the examples of this world are very, very appropriate sometimes, you know, and it is so important for us to learn from these people, you know, that they have created, and Krishna, what he's talking in the scripture for us is absolutely true. We also look at the example of Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra's blindness was not just physical. His blindness was intellectual as well, because he was not even thinking from the Pandava side at all.
Mm-hmm.
So the first verse itself of Bhagavad Gita, when Sanjay Uvacha, what does he say? Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsaha mamakaha pandavaschaiva kim akurvat Sanjaya. So that there itself his ignorance has been shown. Mamakaha pandavaschaiva kim akurvat Sanjaya. So clear-cut distinction, discrimination has been shown because of his ignorance there. So his intellectual ignorance was very much visible right from the word go. And look at the other people, like, you know, the advice those who were giving him, like Vidur, Bhishma, Drona, Sanjaya, his own assistant, then Gandhari, Vyasa, Maitreya, Rishi, and Narad also. But attachment has blinded him. Not physically, though he was blind already, but intellectually also he became blind. And how much he had to lose before he lose his attachment? It was everything. 100 sons. He was losing 100 sons in the war. His dignity, at the end, Vidura cut off his attachment. So fortunately, we don't have to lose so much to lose our blindness. We have to use spiritual knowledge by studying and hearing Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and all these Smriti Shastra and Shruti Shastra that we have. And Prabhupada has so beautifully documented them in the way of books. And he's created such a beautiful, parampara system by which we can get this knowledge. Guru Parampara system, along with the Diksha Gurus, we also have Shiksha Gurus. There are so many Shiksha Gurus like that. We hear their beautiful lectures and we get to know and understand the intricacies of these Shastras day in and day out. So, coming to these classes, learning the Shastra is one thing, but internalizing that knowledge is also another thing that we need to do. If we don't internalize, just listen, go home, drink tea, and go off to sleep, then it is not going to help. Any question? I'm making everyone silent, I don't know why today. Verse number 45, beautiful verse. Traigunya Vishaya Veda
Traigunya Vishaya Veda
Nishtraigunya Bhavarjunaha
Nishtraigunya
Yo Bhavarjuna
Nidvandvo Nitya Sattvastho
Nirvandyo Nitya Sattva
Niryogakshema Atmavan.
Yogasya Atmavan.
Please by heart this verse, okay? Traigunya Vishaya Veda
Trigunya Vishaya Veda
Nishtragunyo Bhavarjunaha
Trigunya Arjuna.
Nidvandvo nitya sattvastho
निर्बन्धो
Nirvandavo
नित्यसत्त्वो
nityasattvastho
niryogakshematmaman
Yogashematmanam.
Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistrigunya Bhavarjuna.
त्रैगुण्या
Gunya
विषया
Vishaya
वेदा
Veda Nistare Gunya
अर्जुन
Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastho Niryogakshema Atmavan.
Nirdevandavo Nityasattvastho Niryogashema Atmana.
Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistrigunya Bhavarjuna. Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastho Niryogakshema Atmavan.
Te gunya
त्रैगुण्या
Vishaya
विषया
Veda
वेदा
Nistre Gunya
त्रैगुण्यो
Bhavarjuna.
भवार्जुन
निर्बन्धो
Nirvandavo
नित्यसत्त्वो
Nityasattvastho Niryogashema
निर्योगं
Atman.
Last time. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nishtraigunya Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvasto Niryogakshema Atmavan.
त्रैगुण्या
Gunya
विषया
Vishaya
वेदा
Veda Nistre Gunya
निस्त्रैगुण्यो
Bhavarjuna.
भवार्जुन
Nirvandavo Nityasatvaso Niryogashema Atmavan.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjun, become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. Again, the Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjun, become transcendental to these three modes. But be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. Yeah. So now Arjun gets a question. He's asked Krishna, but you are saying that all this, but all these are taught in Vedas only. So you are saying it is so bad, it leads to attachment. And though you have this kind of view that they are all apaschita, so they are very intelligent. But they are mentioned in the Vedas. So Krishna says, yes, but we have to go beyond the three modes. What are the three modes of material nature?
passion, ignorance, goodness, and pure goodness.
Yeah, so that is the fourth one. So I'm talking about the only three which are not known to the non-devotees. So that is goodness, passion, and ignorance. Satatama raja. Satarajatama. Like that. Yeah. So normally people, those who are sattvic, they only go up to the sataguna. Yeah, mode of goodness. But devotees have to go beyond mode of goodness. That is pure goodness, mode of pure goodness. Okay. So this question is very valid. Actually, Arjun asked a question from on our behalf. They are very valid. So Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Traigunya, three modes. So the Vedas talk about the subject matter which are related to the three modes only. Yeah. And Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. Oh Arjun, you should go beyond the three modes. Nistraigunya and Nirdvandvo Nishta Sattvastho. And you should become situated beyond duality. And you should be situated in Nitya Sattva. So in this world, there is sattva, there is goodness. The word sattva also means existence. So you should be situated in the spiritual existence. That is nitya sattvastho. Niryoga kshemam atmavan. Without any concerns for yoga and kshema. So without any ideas for gain and protection. So here gain means further profit and protection. All right. So the profit and protection is preservation and keeping what we have. Don't worry about these. Then you should become Atmavan, like Dhanavan, Balavan, Gadivan. Hmm? जिनके पास गाड़ी होती है वो they are गाड़ीवान. Like, and there is also a competition. What kind of गाड़ी you have or the vehicle you have? Do you have a BMW or Audi or Mercedes? So that kind of गाड़ीवान्स. Yeah. So that is all material attachment. The use of vehicle is only from going from point A to point B. But there also people have a competition, We have this and they have that. So we have to come a transcendental elevation. So that means we have to leave all this Nishtraigunya Bhavarjuna. So Atmavan means the possessor of soul. What is the meaning of possessor of soul? So we are soul. What is the meaning of Atmavan? It means we become spiritually aware. If a person is wealthy, but he is intoxicated, he may not be aware also that he may be born in a very aristocratic family. And the person becomes intoxicated and forget that. So he is the Madandha. Madandha. Mada means uh, Mada is intoxication. And he is Madanda blinded by intoxication. But if the person is freed from the blindness, then the person understands that is what actually I should be doing this and what I will do. And based on one's understanding and purpose, he will become Atmavan. So Atmavan becoming a person who has a soul which is residing in the region of the heart, right? And in the region of the heart, what all is there? Atma as well as Paramatma. Both are sitting there. Paramatma is always supervising us, guiding us there. But it happens only when you are aware of the presence of the Paramatma in the region of the heart. Right? If you think that, no, I am everything, then the degradation is 100% possible. Right? So in that case, you need the guidance. So the people, those who are spiritually conscious, then their consciousness becomes spiritual reality. And they become Atmavan. And what is required for that? Nishtraigunya Bhavarjuna. The three modes of passion, ignorance, yeah, they keep us in material existence. And we need to go beyond the three modes. Nishtraigunya. And how that will happen? By the knowledge of scriptures. How to practice Karma Yoga. So here Krishna is not specifically telling how to practice Karma Yoga in this section from 2.38 to 2.46, the next one more verse. But Krishna basically contrasts Karma Kanda with Karma Yoga. And he's telling over here that when we become situated on the spiritual platform, one becomes Atmavan. So go beyond dualities and be situated in Nitya Sattva. Nitya Sattva means there is Sattva in this world, but even Sattva is temporary. So Nitya Sattva refers to the eternal existence, that means transcendental platform. And that is required is Niryoga Kshema. Don't worry about what you will gain, what you will lose. Just stay on the spiritual platform. And what will you become? Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. Be situated on the spiritual platform. So basically, he is discriminating between the Karma Kanda, Karma Yoga. Okay, so Karma Yoga is doing your prescribed duty at the same time doing the worship of Lord. Both together. So I, being a husband, I should be working, I should be helping my wife and as well as children, looking after the home. providing finances. At the same time, I am a son of my mother, so I have multiple duties to do. So those are my prescribed duties to do in this world. And with that, having in mind that is there, I have to also do the worship of the Lord. Because when we keep Krishna in the center, then only we are doing Karma Yoga. Okay. So I will stop the class here. Any questions, please?
Prabhuji, I like that last point what you mentioned, that keeping Krishna in the center of whatever we're doing. Yeah, that's a very beautiful point. That always keep Krishna in the center. If you go to work, come back home, do your basic duties, whatever you're doing, always think of Krishna. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji, for mentioning that.
Thank you very much. Yes, so if you have any questions, doubts, anything, if you don't want to ask now, you want to ask me privately or put into the group, there's nothing good or bad. So don't feel anything that, oh, I'm putting this question into the group. What will people think about me that I'm so stupid? No, nothing of that sort. So any question in every question is good. So we don't have to think about that. Yeah. So let's do Vaishnava Pranam and then we'll close the class. Everyone should be unmuted. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhayeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.